It's on. It's on. If you don't know me, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Allesha, also known as Travelwithleash, and I'm so excited to be back on YouTube, or shall I maybe say starting again after 5 years. Now, granted, your girl was never a YouTuber with over tens of thousands of subscribers and lots of videos, but I was somebody who was just trying, right? But the person I was then and the person I am now is completely different. I have actually been on a very long journey to get to this point, get to this mindset shift in the last 5 years. Look in, where have I been, Shayla? Where have I been? Well, guys, I've been working. I've been working like Rihanna, work. Mainly, a lot has changed for me. So when I first started this channel, I was initially working. What was I doing? I think I had just finished my master's, and then I went into my first big boy job, and I was in recruitment for 2 years. And then from then, I was also working on a business. So if you've been following me back then, you'll know that I started a hair and beauty business. I was selling lashes and hair and all these really exciting stuff. And then I went into I was working another job, which was my last job, where I was working in the educational field. I wasn't a teacher. I definitely wasn't a teacher. Now, my last job, I was literally made redundant, which is absolutely wild. And I probably will talk about that redundancy journey in a completely separate video. What I really want to talk about is actually what I have been finding really difficult and where I'm at right now. So for me, I discovered that working a corporate job just wasn't for me. Now, I'm not hating on a corporate job. If you've ever been in a job, you know what it's like. But for me, it just was something that I felt wasn't really giving me anything. I didn't want to climb the ladder. I felt that the ladder didn't really exist for me. Now, obviously, granted, you need a job, but being in a 9 to 5 can sometimes be quite stifling, and that's something that I found that I really did struggle with. So for me, I was like, I need to get out of this, but I didn't really know how. So I've always been interested in business. I've always been interested in entrepreneurship, but one thing they don't tell you, I'm going to tell you this for free, they don't tell you that going into business or entrepreneurship is literally a personal development plan with income. You have to become the person that you want to be before you actually see the income that you want to achieve. And if anything, that is what I have learned massively over the last 5 years. The person that I want to become and the person that I was at the time, I was somebody that dealt heavily with perfectionism. And that perfection was rooted in a place where literally I didn't want to fail. And I had to really redefine what failure looked like for me and understand that you can't fail if you keep on going forward. Your vision is going to continue to expand. You're going to do some things and they're not going to work in the way that you want it to work. But if you stop, then that is when you fail. Like failure, it doesn't actually exist. So perfectionism is something that I really had to overcome. And even now, it's something that I really have to be somebody who is okay with literally failing forward rather than just trying to do it perfect at that point. And that is something I really did struggle with my beauty business, trying to perfect it, well, rather than actually learning on the go. Another thing that I think I was really dealing with over the last 5 years was fear. Fear was holding me in a chokehold, guys, like literally fear. And if you know me personally, you'll know that I am quite an outspoken person. I'm quite confident. I speak very highly of myself, you know, not in a cocky way, but I'm just very assured of who I am. Fear was something that was holding me back, and I didn't realize it was something that I had in my heart, and it was something that God has really had to deal with me over the last 5 years. And it's more a case of fear of failure and fear of being a beginner and fear of literally trying things, which is weird because I love trying new things, but I hated being a beginner. I want to just be an expert, because I was always taught that if you do something, you have to do it really well, and you don't let anybody to see it until it's really well. But when you're doing business or entrepreneurship or anything that's your own thing, you have to be okay with being a beginner. And that is something I really did struggle with. It's something now that I'm learning to kind of overcome and just do things at baby steps and have a bit of grace with myself. Like, I don't need to be perfect, don't need to be an expert at things. Some things don't need to be like the best thing in the world. They can just be for fun, right? And that's something that I've kind of had to learn a bit more about myself, and just to enjoy the journey and appreciate the journey. That is what I'm really excited about, being back on YouTube again, because YouTube was always something that I wanted to do, and not necessarily YouTube itself, but actually content creation. And I was stuck in this place of comparison. And I think that was the longest thing. Comparing myself to others, comparing my journey to others. You know, when you go on Instagram, when you go on TikTok, you see people living a certain life and doing a certain thing, and you compare their end result, because you only really see that end result to where you are right now, and you're just in the mud, or you're grinding at the bottom, no one can see it. So I was comparing myself to people, but also trying, which is weird because I wasn't trying to be like them, but I was silently comparing myself to them. And I had to kind of learn over the last 5 years of who is it that I want to become, and who am I today, and what is my actual identity rooted in. Because God has really been speaking to me and working on my identity, and allowing me to be really confident in who I am, and actually trying to enjoy the becoming her. Like, you can have all these goals and aspirations and the things that you want to do, but actually enjoy the journey of becoming her, and letting go of things, and letting God pour into you the areas that you fall short in. So for me, that is kind of the main struggles that I had been with over the last 5 years, if I'm honest. And that's why it took me so long to get back on here. And I'm back now because I'm leaning in. I'm leaning into enjoying things again. I'm leaning into doing things because it's what I want to do, and leaning into the failure aspect, and being okay with being seen, okay with not being perfect, and just doing stuff and just enjoying the journey. So I'm really excited to be here and to be back. And I feel like I'm not like an interview or something, but I'm excited because I genuinely have so many things that I literally allowed fear to rob me of over the last 5 years. And I wanted to share that because as a starting point, because I want to be honest, because I believe there's other people that are going through similar things and can relate to where I've been, and where, you know, you have a certain desire for life, but actually your environment and the things that you see aren't always matching up to the desires that you have. And sometimes it starts within, and naturally it will come out. Where are we going now? So I'm excited again, like I said, to kind of share more about the journey, but also over the last 5 years, I kind of pivoted from the beauty industry and moved into the travel industry. I was introduced to a travel business, and over the last 5 years, I have been growing that. I've been learning more, and I've been helping people to essentially learn how to earn from the travel industry. And I am building a community, or I have built a community, shall I say, helping people to do exactly that. We do a lot of great group trips, we do a lot of events, a lot of socials, and I am so excited to share that. So if you guys are interested in a bit more about what I do in that aspect, definitely stay tuned. I'm going to be sharing a lot more about that in the coming videos, and also how you can get involved. You are welcome to join our Facebook group down below in the link. But for now, I think that pretty much wraps up everything in the last 5 years. There's definitely more. I'm going through redundancy, my views on 9 to 5, my experience from failure to, you know, kind of leaning in. I got a lot more to say, but we will save all of that for another video. So if you've enjoyed what you've watched so far, please click the subscribe button and stick around for the next few videos. All right, thank you so much, guys. Bye.